Good afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting of the planning board for the town of Selma to order. Do a quick roll call. Ms. Watson, vice chair.
Present.
Todd Holmes, chair, present. Ms. Bailey.
Here.
So we have all board members are in attendance. We have a forum to conduct business this evening. We have our agenda for tonight. You guys will see we have several items to look at this evening, including reviewing some applications for potential board members. Any additions or revisions from town staff that we need to consider?
Yes, sir. I would like to add an application for a Miss Sarah Garris, and then as well an application for Mr. Dennis House. And that would be in addition to item 4E, board applications with the existing application with Miss Rayner.
So say the names one more time.
In total, there would be one application already on the agenda for Miss Florence Rayner, another application for Miss Sarah Harris, and then the last application would be for Mr. Dennis House.
Is there a motion to accept those changes to the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anything from board members? Additions, adjustments to the agenda?
No.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. And then we have the minutes from the October meeting. I apologize for my absence. I was dealing with a little medical hiccup, but I appreciate you guys taking care of business in my absence. Are there any corrections, revisions to the minutes from the October planning board meeting?
No.
No. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
Yes.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Awesome. So the minutes for the October 27th meeting have been reviewed and approved. And that'll jump us down to item 4 for our business items. Mr. Graham.
Hey, nice to see you all again. I have before you an ordinance amendment, planning review recommendation of a general use district rezoning from R10 medium density residential to GB general business on a property address of 1420 River Road by an applicant Ahmad Shaheen, and this property is 0.64 acres. It's dual zoned, but this is mainly concerning the R10 zone, which is the frontage, which currently is a motor vehicle repair service, and they're looking to rezone it to GB so that it remains consistent with the use, because they have said it's been operating as a motor vehicle service for over 20 years. So the staff find this request may not be consistent with the land use plan, but is reasonable to maintain the pre-existing use that borders high-intensity industrial uses. I asked the board to consider, is the proposed action consistent with the town of Selma land use plan, and also is the proposed action reasonable and in the public interest? I asked that my staff report and supporting document be entered into evidence as testimony. Is anyone here for the applicant for that? 1420 River Road? No? Okay. Any questions for me?
So did the town approach the applicant, or the applicant realized there was a hiccup in the process?
So the applicant came to the town and they were looking to do a change in use for a different auto service where they could sell used cars and new cars. But to change in use, it has to be a use that fits within that district.
And then it was, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna be selling cars on the current lot.
Mm-hmm. Which is currently like a repair shop.
Isn't there an empty lot across the street from this business as well? Do they use it also? If I'm thinking about the right one. Do they
I'm not
use-
sure across the lot.
Okay. You have the map? Okay, thank you. I thought so. Yeah. I have no further questions.
So, refresh my memory on this, we have to, is it consistent with the land use, and then whether or not town council should approve?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, so,
It'll be a total of two motions, one, whether it's consistent and reasonable, and then the second one will be the recommendation of town council.
so based on what the staff has submitted, it is not consistent, but it is reasonable. Okay. So is there a motion regarding the amendment to be deemed reasonable based on our current land use policies?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And is there a motion to recommend that town council approve the amendment as presented?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And there's no one here tonight.
That is correct. And
Okay.
just to confirm, I wanted to confirm that that first motion was it is not consistent, but is reasonable.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I needed. Thank you.
So the next item I have is a planning board review slash recommendation of a general use district rezoning from R20 low density residential to transitional residential TR. This location is 2093 Lizzie Mill Road. The applicant is a Godwin Engineering PA. This is a 17.77 acre parcel. It's double parceled. It's on two sides of that road that you can see. And as I mentioned, it's currently zoned R20. The applicant feels this best serves the public for the following reasons: that it's a close proximity to major transportation arteries such as I-95, 301, US 70, and collector streets such as the site's own Lizzie Mill Road and East Lizzie Street. Makes it ideally suited for higher density residential use. I believe the applicant is with us as well. Staff comments that they find the request not consistent with the land use plan. And the proposed actions are to determine if it's consistent and reasonable, and then to whether or not to recommend to town council. You would like to add anything about for questions, right?
I have a question for you
Mhm.
before
Yeah,
they
yeah.
proceed forward. The town said it was not,
Consistent.
but
if
is
you-
it reasonable?
I put it wasn't because if you look at the land use plan, it's pretty rural on the land use plan.
Mm-hmm.
If you see the indicated 2040 spot, the Selma land use plan.
So we want to keep it rural, that's the reason.
That's what it looks like.
Good evening. My name's Justin Lee with Goblin Engineering.
Just need your address for me as well, please.
1403 NC Highway 50 South, Benson, North Carolina, 27504. In regards to the land use plan, I understand why that area is marked for low residential. But our site is directly adjacent to a mobile home park that has been in existence for years. It's got a sewer through the mobile home park that we could tie into. That would increase public utilities revenue, and we would run water as well. And then if memory serves, further down Lizzie Mill, there's another mobile home park outside in the rural area. And with Lizzie Mill being a collector and tying into 95 and 301, would be a great place to do this. Our goal is to do a townhouse development to provide a cheaper option for young individuals who want to buy their own home and live instead of being forced to rent, because the price of single family homes is ridiculous at the moment, and we would love to provide that option.
And how many units were you thinking about building there?
We have if you would like to take a look at it.
Yes,
I
please.
have a current. I can bring. There's a few copies there. The two layouts for the last few years. At the current moment, though, it is 48 on the north side of Lizzie Mill and 72 on the south. Both sides would have their own open space and common areas such as a bus stop, a public gazebo, and a off the right of way mailbox with parking that ties into the gazebo, so you could have somewhere for families to hang out or play, and the kids would not be on the right of way, so it would be safe. We're proposing sidewalks on both sides. And we would gladly, if it would help, we've talked with the owner and the developer, the possibility of establishing a park on the southern portion, because there's a lot more open space there available.
And what would be your starting, price range, you know, have any idea?
I do believe they were aiming for mid 200s. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm somewhere around the 200.
Okay.
Chair and
And-
board, one thing I do want to note is, some of this information can be beneficial, but we cannot hold the applicant's proposed use to them when considering the recommendation of the rezoning. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay, thank you. And can I see the map view? I'm just trying to figure out, I think I know about the area down Lizzie Mill, but I just want to. How, or do either of you know how far it is from the mobile home part, about how far?
They're side by side. Or are you asking about the one further down?
The one I'm thinking of, it's right before you get to the bridge of 95. That's the first one over
It's,
the right. So you said you're side by side?
yes, ma'am. He's pulled it up now. It would be directly beside us. And we would be establishing all landscape buffer requirements and meeting all setback requirements per the zoning. And if we needed to increase the landscape buffer, we could discuss that.
And help me to understand, I'm sorry, this is a question for the town. So it's a mobile home unit right beside it, but we declared this parcel of land to be rural and we wanted to keep it low. Do we know the rationale for that, considering the mobile home unit is right beside it?
I can't determine the rationale for the creation of the land use plan, but it follows a border towards the end of like the city limits around, and that seems to be where they usually tend to mark as rural. As you can see, that yellow is farm
Yeah.
agricultural tax property.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Thank you.
If I may, one more thing in regards to keeping that surrounding area is agricultural, low residential. You know, if we were allowed to do our townhome development, then that would kind of maximize the land utilization of our tract, and we would be providing much more houses than if we had to do single family or something along those lines. So that would help kind of limit the urban sprawl a little bit.
And these will be all townhomes.
Yes, ma'am.
I rode down that way and I looked at it was open land. And it was a lot of traffic, you know, for such a small area, and you got all these, I think I saw 2 mobile home parks. And then I saw a lot of houses, you know, that weren't really well taken care of. And I was thinking about how would the traffic be adding those, townhomes. And I know I have heard the mayor say that some roads the town owns, some roads the DOT owns. So which one owns that road?
I'm not sure on the ownership, but I do know that Lizzie Mill Road is classified as a collector street, as well as East Lizzie Street, which is further closer to town.
Based on the quick search that I just conducted, it appears to be a state maintained road.
Probably starting at the railroad track back.
1001.
So with that being said, we would have to, correspond and work with DOT. And, if they would require us to do a turn lane, then we would put one of those in to be sufficient to meet the standards if required. And we're proposing kind of a wide entrance, if that makes sense, double lane with the median in between to make getting in and out safer, as safe as possible, to help with that because we know it's a busy road.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Well, hey, my name is Charles.
Address, please.
705 North Web Street. I live right in town. Okay. So, I've been living in Selma basically, almost more than 20 years. Moved from New York City. This is like kind of like a promised land, It's very beautiful. I've seen this, I've seen it develop, slowly but surely, when you see all these things happening and all this other stuff, and the mayor, has done a great job, and Joe too, and his staff and their guys too. Going out that way, I've been going out that way for a long time towards Lizzie Road, and of course I've been rural for a while, and we have a lot of families moving in, and the way rental it's pretty high, so this is opportunity for people to afford or have a place where they could call home and purchase it, be part of Selma. I think Selma's growing. I know it's growing. Bad enough, it takes me a long time just to cross over the bridge just to go to Pine Level, and if I need to go to the shopping area. So it is growing. It is growing. And it will benefit, I think, the city and the town, especially the county, for us to develop those homes in that area. I think that we're actually fulfilling people, dreams. I believe it's affordable. I believe it's something awesome that's happening in Selma as we're growing slowly but surely, and people are moving in, from different places. I just meet people that are moving in from Florida, people moving in from different places. They want to be part of Selma. I believe Selma is incredible. I believe there's a lot of potential, and y'all guys know it too, and it's an awesome place just to raise your kids, and I like I said, I live in town. I'm also a pastor up in Pine Level, so it's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's all I could say. It's awesome. And the city probably knows me here. Probably Joe or Brian said my fame. People know me. I'm like, you sure people know me? Because we also provide a lot of food for the community towards Pine Level. But I live in this town, and it's been great living in this town and see the town flourish and come up and develop the way it's being developed. We've been kind of slow a couple of years ago, but now it's like out of nowhere, we're just like booming. So that's good revenue that's coming in for the town. And that's another revenue that's going to be coming for the town. And not only that, but at the same time, we're also providing families a home and something maybe to fulfill their dreams. I know there's a lot of hoops that we got to go over, a lot of obstacles, but I believe that we got this great guy here that him and his team developed or sketched out in blueprints and stuff like that. And they're helping us out making this happen as we help out these teachers that are moving in, doctors, nurses, all these guys that are moving in, and the housing is very short. You can't really find that here. I mean, what they're offering probably is something awesome for these families to be affordable, and that's all I can say. I represent RDZ, and that's what we're doing, and I enjoy this town and this city. That's what I could say.
My apologies, and you are, well, this land is what you own? or-
No, this land I don't own. This land I work for the people that own the land. You know, and I help them as in the projects that they have. You know, and I'm more like I can say a spokesman. You know, but they're awesome people. They have the heart in the right place. That's what I know that for sure. Because not only as I work for them, but we're friends. You know, and they're doing some great stuff in this town. I believe that it's possible. I believe it's possible.
Do they own other property around this town as well, or is this the only one?
They actually live in Selma. They stay on Ballard Lane.
Oh, okay.
The whole family. The father runs RDZ Utilities.
So very humble people. Very humble.
The sons work, well, actually, all four of his sons.
Yeah.
All four of his sons work with the family business. You're going to continue it on, but they all live on Ballard Lane in Selma. Have no
Okay.
intentions on moving.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, again, our charge is not to approve or disapprove. Our charge is to look at the information presented and determine if it is consistent with the land use plan, and then whether or not we make a recommendation to town council to approve the change based on its connection to the land ordinances. So we just always like to share that with people, that we don't make that final decision. We just look at it and see if it aligns with the policy.
Yes, sir, I understand. And that doesn't quite align with the land use plan, but we wrote that we could at least show you why we thought it was reasonable.
Sure. All right, so any other questions?
I just have one question. I think the other gentleman said that, it would be affordable starter homes for younger people. And I just wanted to know if the homes are gonna be available, say like for people in Selma or for people out of town, because I know in lots of meetings, everybody got affordable homes, but I don't see any changes in the lifestyle of the people that's already here in Selma. So I'm thinking they coming from out of town.
Well, let me. I don't even own a house. So I'll probably be the first one. And our goal is really to reach up. We would like to see people in Selma, have their stuff. That's our goal. And I don't know how the owner's gonna do it, but I'm always in their ears. I'm always speaking to them, encouraging them as an advisor. And I think that's one of the main things here. I think that it's about giving people an opportunity in Selma. I really believe so. I know a lot of people that moved. I know people that are in this area, and I think that things could happen for the best. That's what I think. And that's what we're planning.
As far as, I'll second that as well. I think their main goal, especially with starting out prices around the 200 range, is to give young adults or young families starting out working the chance to be able to buy a home for themselves that they can live in for 10, 20, or even 50 or 60 years as a family, without being forced to either buy a $700,000 single family detached home or being forced to rent. So I think it's for the young professionals in this area, and young working adults that need a better option than single family detached, but don't really want to rent. They would like to own and live and make it their home.
Anything else?
I don't-
So, first of our charges is the proposed action consistent with the town of Selma land use plan. Based on our current ordinances, it does not appear to be the case. Is there a difference?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be the case, but I think that is reasonable considering the proximity that it is to the mobile home unit. I know it's not consistent, so I'll say that. However, I think it's reasonable based on the location. So I don't know how I'm voting is that is not. However, I think it's reasonable. So is that acceptable?
So we'll do the first one as far as the land use, and then we can talk about the reasonable, and if we need to include some suggestion to council when we do that?
On your reasoning as to why it is reasonable, correct? The motion can be previous to the first one. Motion to state the proposal is not consistent but reasonable due to, that you can fill in that blank with your motion.
Okay. It is not consistent with the town use, land use, planning land use. However, it is reasonable due to the proximity that it is to the mobile home unit, and that it is not, it still allows the land for farming to remain rural, and I guess the surrounding areas outside of what they want, where they want to build.
That's a motion.
That's my motion.
Okay.
Sorry, long-winded, but that's my
That's
motion.
okay. Is there a second?
That's it.
Any further discussion? I will say I concur with Ms. Watson, but again, please understand that the town council, they'll look at this in a little bit more in depth, and there may be other options that they're gonna ask you to look into based on the current zoning policies. Okay, all right, so with that being said, all those in favor of approving Ms. Watson's motion as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Good luck.
We will need a motion to recommend or not recommend for
Oh,
that item as well.
So we recommend. Well, we,
You did the motion for not consistent but reasonable, so now we'll just need that second motion to either recommend or not recommend the project to town council.
so
I make a motion to recommend to town council.
based that we agreed that it is reasonable. priced.
That's it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for keeping us.
Where's his name?
Oh, your
don't do
paper.
plans.
All right, so the next item is a text amendment, looking for planning board recommendation of an ordinance amendment to section 17-505 off-street parking and loading. This amendment is to strengthen the standards for the parking and storing of recreational vehicles in residential districts. Staff were directed to review the standards of RVs and compare them with other municipalities to see if we can strengthen the standards of parking and storing. This is part of the larger goal to provide reasonable standards for our growing community and enforcement. So if you have any questions about them, let me know.
So they're not allowed to park on the street, are they?
No.
They must be in a driveway
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has, that meets the
Well, it should
requirements.
already be not in the street,
Right.
from my understanding. But
Yeah.
this is for like
In your
in the front
driveway,
yard
yeah.
and also if the wheels are off
Mhm,
and in a state of disrepair, things of that nature. And this is only for RVs.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
Ms. Bailey, any questions? Is there a motion to recommend council accept the changes as presented?
So moved.
That's
Need a
it.
consistency motion as well.
Oh, sorry. Is there a motion that is consistent with the current land use plan?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Is there a motion to recommend town council approve the changes as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
That's it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, guys.
So next I have a recommendation for approval on a special use permit. This is at 112 South Bullock Street, the old Pepsi Bottling Company building. This is, the applicant is Lee Holdings of LLC. This is a GB parcel and it is in the historic area, but they are not doing any exterior work. This is for the use. And it is retail sales with a subordinate manufacturing and processing, which requires a special use permit. They are a cabinetry and countertop retailer, and they do their own in-house stone fabrication, which is the manufacturing and processing side of the retail. And so it's for on-site stone cutting along with their kitchen cabinet, floor plan, and they attached a floor plan to their application that kind of shows how they're gonna utilize the building. So, staff believes this plan proposal is consistent with the town of Selma UDO and comprehensive land use plan, and asks the board to consider the following motions to either recommend or not recommend to town council.
Questions? Any concern from the town with there being a manufacturing facility in that building as far as utilities and sewage? Will that be something that the council would consider once, if our recommendation is taken to them?
This has been through technical review committee, I imagine.
It's just use.
Oh.
Yeah, no. This has not gone through, this is a special use request, and if the project needs overlook for stormwater and things of that nature, but it was,
It'll come.
it will come, but it was a Pepsi bottling manufacturing, so from the looks of the floor plan, I felt it
Had a very similar use previously.
similar use, but,
I'm just curious.
but I'm unsure about the technicalities on that.
So is there any questions about is there a motion and special use plan is consistent with the town of Selma UDO comprehensive land use plan?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to recommend a special use plan be approved by town council?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then our last business item this evening is to review 3 applications for appointment to a town board committee. One that's attached to the back, and then we have the 2 extra.
How many positions are we filling?
2. So, one thing we want to, that was.
Are any of them here tonight?
Ms. Florence Rayner is in attendance.
Miss Sarah?
Florence Rayner.
Florence,
Miss Rayner.
okay.
She's on our appearance commission.
Is it possible if she could come up and
wanna step
introduce
up to the
herself, tell
podium?
us a little bit about who she is? Hey. Are you able to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I was in the military. I was in the Air Force. I worked for a numbered Air Force, 12th Air Force. I worked with a 4-star general.
Mhm.
We planned, it was an operation in Saudi Arabia called Red Flag.
Mm-hmm.
I helped coordinate moving troops and equipment. The plans, we had to draw them all out, where everything went. Also accountant. I live in an old house on Rhodes.
How long have you been here in Selma?
I've been here since 1988.
Any questions for us, Ms. Rayner?
No, I came tonight because I wanted to see what you do. Because I know what we do.
What we do pretty quick.
Yeah, we're pretty quick too. Sarah pushes us right there.
Okay.
I'm very interested. I spoke to the mayor and he told me this was probably right up my alley.
Great.
Is Sarah Harris she's a part of another board, or is this gonna be her only one?
This is the first application that I've received from
Oh.
Ms. Sarah Harris, so she's currently not a member on any of the planning boards.
Another application and the 2 our applications for
Okay.
recreation board and the planning.
Correct. She
Okay.
did apply for both the rec board and the planning board.
So I thought, anything else for us, Ms. Rayner? Okay, great.
Any questions for me?
No, ma'am, we just appreciate your interest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my thought is, since Ms. Harris has applied for another board and they have seats available on that board, that we look at Ms. Rayner and Mr. House. So
Do you know Mr. House?
I do not, I don't know any of these people. But that way we can fill our board and then the rec board would still have a viable applicant to fill one of their spots. Whereas Mr. House has just submitted an application for the planning board. Does that seem reasonable? Since she's looking to get involved in a couple of different areas, whereas he is just specific to our board. And then that way, we have 5 spots that would fill our seats. Is that okay? Is that okay as well? Does that seem reasonable? Okay. So do we make a motion to recommend these 2 folks?
Yes, sir, that
Okay,
is correct.
So is there a motion to recommend town council appoint Ms. Rayner and Dennis House to the planning board?
So moved.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So Ms. Rayner, this will go to the town council and then they'll make a final decision and get in touch with you. Let's see. Does. Session. Our next meeting would be March 23rd.
23rd.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.